Welcome to Reflector Reflections, the podcast exploring the unique and fascinating world of human design through the lens of being a reflector. I'm Annie Richardson, a 5/1 reflector and passionate mentor navigating this journey alongside you. This podcast is a space to connect, share, and celebrate the stories and wisdom of reflectors and human design enthusiasts alike. Join me as we dive into authentic conversations, uncovering how we embrace and experiment with our designs and the beauty and challenges of living as nine-centered beings. Whether you're a reflector, loved one, or simply curious about human design, this is your space to learn, grow, and feel seen. Welcome. Today's beautiful conversation is with Yulia. Yulia is a 3/5 reflector with the right angle cross of the 4 ways. Now, Yulia is a certified human design guide and is also the founder of Meneswa, I'm hoping I've pronounced that correctly, jewellery, where she designs and creates these amazing, beautiful pieces. If you'll notice, Yulia is also from Russia and she is living here now in Australia. And I'm so excited to have you on, Yulia. It's been a long time coming for us, hasn't it?
Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here and looking forward to all the topics our conversation will bring.
Yeah, and we've known each other for a couple of years now, just on social media, haven't we? And it was like, why don't we have a chat? So we finally got here after some third lining.
Yeah, it was fun, and as you say, the beginning is not always smooth, and it's okay. You need to go through this kind of like a bit of a trouble, but I'm also a third line, so I expect things not to work well straight away. So I'm prepared morally and with my experience, so that's all right.
Oh, I can't wait to get into this. Now, as we do here, this is really about you. And I want to ask you, how did human design find you, or you find human design?
Oh, that's a long journey. So after my university graduation as a lawyer, I decided to go to China and study Chinese because I just felt like doing that. I really loved languages and stuff. And my friend happened to go to China. And so I've spent a couple of years studying Chinese, and I met my future husband there, and I had to stay after my course to work there. And one evening, my best friend, she's a projector, mental projector. She introduced me to the system, saying like, Yulia, you're a projector. 100% you're a projector. And I've checked my time of birth, 3 a.m. in the morning, and I was like, yes, I am a projector. And then I was like, hang on, I'm going to call my mom. And now then she was looking for there's a little like tag when you're born in Russia with exact time. And she's like, actually, it's not 3 o'clock, it's 2 o'clock, 2 a.m. And I open and my chart changes and I'm a reflector. And then my friend, she reads the description. She reads it aloud, and I was like, that's what I needed. That's what explains everything. Why I'm so lost, why I'm so different. And as a 3/5, I jumped into the experiment straight away. I didn't know how. I made a lot of mistakes on the way. But the most important I took from it, don't rush with your decisions and take your time, minimum a month. And it saved my life so many times. And but it is difficult. I'm still experimenting with that, and always open something new inside myself. And I love the process, and I'm so grateful that I made human design, how much it impacted my life, how much it impacted life of people around me. Not only because I tell them about their design, but also I know how to communicate with them and treat them as their personality, according to their design. And I love it. And it was in 2015. So it's been a while. And I cannot say that my experiment was very smooth again. And I had my shifts, ups and downs. And I also went through a lot of misinformation I found online, and also made a lot of mistakes through my experiment, and came back to original International Human Design School. And it's a long journey with a lot of things happened. I'm very grateful for it, and it's keep going.
Yeah, wow. So you're saying that you just dove straight in and started kind of, I guess, experimenting, hey, only as a third line would. And discovering that 3-5 and the reflector when you put it together, did you take that? Hello, beautiful.
Roman, come say hello.
We have a little
Yeah.
person.
He's the manifesting generator too.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Can I give you capsicum and you go to Papa's room again? Okay. Here we go.
Mama,
Now I will give you like that. Mama's talking. All right. So where did we finish?
The
About
third line, yeah.
Yeah.
And just taking that journey back on your life, like obviously for me, I know when I discovered human design, I went and ran everyone's charts because I realized pretty quickly that I was very influenced by other people, and I wanted to know that. Did you do that as well? Go back through as much as you could?
Yes. Yeah, I actually keep doing that. Like if I have a chance, I always ask for it. I don't hesitate. I always ask for time or even day of birth and when you're born. And because it helps me to even like to choose words with people. For example, if you talk to a manifestor, just don't use imperative way to talk to them. And it makes things smoother. And yeah, and make more questions for generators. It works well. It's just mechanics. And I love it. It's a tool not only for understanding yourself, but also how to communicate with people around. It's great. Yeah.
And we were just saying there off air when I was having a look at your chart of how much root activation you've got. You've got a lot going in that root. How did that affect you growing up before you sort of knew it and knew the amount of pressure that it was on your system?
I'll say that I have always been a very active person, and but I also noticed that I'm active not every day, and it is inconsistent. And I thought there's something wrong with me, and obviously it helped me when I learned that my open sacral center, it's completely open, and that I don't know when to stop. It also helped me a lot because I really don't know how to stop. And this route just keeps going, especially if you do not have a lunar transit in it, and you have open root center among others, and you have all this pressure and you're running around like a little squirrel in a wheel. And yeah, and then it just brings exhaustion. And yeah, and even I had panic attacks before, and right now I understand how it's happening, why, and everything like that. And but it just means that I always stimulated myself with things doing around, which are kind of pointless because stress is never going away, and we do need to finish today everything. Yeah, so it also helped me with like health issues as well, because once you understand, you correct your actions. And through these actions, you bring completely different vibe to your lifestyle. Yeah.
That's incredible. And you diving right in and obviously meeting your now husband and your friends, did you kind of bring them along to the system? Is your husband involved in human design and the work that you do?
I meet a lot of people around myself. And not all of them are ready to wake up, let's just say. But once again, if I know the chart, I know how to communicate with people. And even though they don't know how they work inside, I do. And it smoothens a lot. My husband is a manifester. And with him, he's an emotional manifester. And for me, to make it work, I just should step back and let him do whatever he wants. And I always tell him, just inform me, just tell me. And when he is rushing with his decisions, I kind of like try to make him look at the situation and see that there is no clarity yet. And that's all what I can do. And it works. Yeah. He is not in human design, but he does live his design.
I love what you're saying. It's like they mightn't know it, but I do. It's like a cheat in life, isn't it? It's like, oh my gosh. And having children, I know how that it feels like it's this cheat sheet in life, isn't it? That we can know this system and parent with so much more ease. It's still challenging parenting.
Yeah.
But how different it would be if we didn't have it. I often think how amazing. I get to parent these children per their design, and I love it.
I agree. I have my oldest son. He has the 39th gate in his personal son. Can you imagine? He is extremely stubborn. He's also enjoying provoking other people around. He has a beautiful heart, but also very challenging temper. And I love him. And oh my God, I don't know how I would cope with him without understanding his own chart. He also has this very, very unique way of eating. You know, there's 12 regimens for nutrition from primary health system. And when he consumes food, he has to move. He's always on a go. And like, even with this, like an ordinary parent would say, like, sit down, calm down. You are not allowed to eat this way. And for me, I just try to make sure that he doesn't hurt himself or choke. Otherwise, he's allowed to be himself. Yeah. And he does it from the time he started eating. He's always busy. And oh my God, I think it helps him to grow up as well. When he will grow up, he will say thanks that he was not broken in his childhood for something what he is. Yeah.
And that it's just a gift, and thank you for sharing that. I'm the same. It's I feel it's an honor to parent them to who they are instead of who I want them to be. And it is really challenging sometimes, you know, to just sort of think, I've just got to keep you alive, child or children. I know you're going to be an amazing human as you become an adult, but for right now, I just have to keep you alive. And you know, like allowing ourselves to go, oh, I'm feeling this frustration as well. I'm feeling, you know, you're feeling them. We're so feeling them.
Yeah. I get
it. It's full on. Anyway, I'm glad that you, and how was that transition for you, if I may ask? How was the transition into motherhood for you, being a reflector? It's something that I like to talk about, you know.
Yeah, well, I'll say that we had a very harsh start, and we have quite challenging start with my oldest son. And to be honest, oh my God, it's a very, very sensitive topic for me. So my pregnancies and the way I gave birth, and after that was pretty difficult. I had some complications, and both of the time I was on the edge of life and death. And also with my older son, I I don't know what I ate, but I ate some kind of germ or bacteria, which it comes from the fish. And when he was born, he had like 90% of his lungs not working because it was like neonatal pneumonia caused by that. And it was 2 weeks of fighting for his life when he was born. And yeah, and it was quite challenging. So it wasn't smooth. And for me, it started from a shock as well. And after that, I guess when I became a mother, after going through all these challenges, what life just brought to me, and I had no choice just to take it, I guess my life changed a lot through the way I see things and value things. And I no longer hesitate in what I want when I do things. I don't think about what people will say, or when you come to that point when you realize that your time is very limited in this world, you actually do things which are needed instead of just wasting it on something which is not important, or like fees, or I don't know, hesitation, or doesn't matter. You have a day and you do it, and you have your children, you need to take care of them. You need to make sure they're healthy, and they're happy, and they're developing. And also you learn how to look after yourself, because they depend on you, depend on me. And this is all kind of like combination of things which actually transformed me a lot, because this I know that I was born in the quarter of duality, it's relationships, but my life is all the time transformative, and I'm going through these kind of events and situations where I have to like build up my spirit, you know.
Yeah, I do.
And yeah.
Yeah, I really do. There's a little while ago last year, I was actually, it's been over a couple of years, but last year I thought I'd talk more about it, about the birth windows of reflectors. And the 90s, we had a lot of reflectors born in throughout the period of the 90s. And every time I sit with one of you beautiful souls who are born in this, I think, oh my gosh, this impact that you're having on the world. I know it's a bit philosophical, but I'm always quite impressed and amazed at the reflectors born in the 90s of it's like you are here to really transform things. Don't know where I'm going with that, but I just felt I had to mention it because it's very impactful. The energy that you guys bring, that era of your birth brings, as we sort of step into this new 2027.
Yes.
I feel it's really you there's something here about, especially people born in the 90s, of this is that real shift in energies of, you know, coming past, you know, past 30 and stuff like that, of just you shifting as well. But it's a massive transformation that I'm seeing. I'd love to speak more into that, but I just don't have the words for it. It's just a feeling that I have.
Yeah, that's something important is happening. And no, I absolutely relate what you feel, because I always knew that I am something more than just sitting somewhere in the office and putting one paper to another. And I also believe that everything what I'm going through in my personal life is as a preparation for me to bring something to other people around, because it's kind of like a training hall where you go and kind of prepare yourself. It has a goal. It's not like for my personal growth. It's my personal growth for the sake of something out there, because there are a lot of people which are going through similar situations, maybe not similar, but they have the same condition inside when they need someone to understand. And what future brings, we can see that the world right now is going crazy, and nobody knows what is going on. And the fear spreads around, And the how to say, the biggest fear I guess everyone has is like, what future will bring? We are not prepared. What is gonna happen? Am I ready for it? Somebody's packing their, like, 8 bags. Somebody's buying like a lot of toilet paper that was ridiculous during COVID or whatever. So a lot of people don't know what is going on, but I do, and we do, and we feel it because the shift is happening, and it's only 2 years. Only 2 years when the program will let everyone go, and it's going to be only inner authority. And if people don't have it, we should be there, we must be there to help them. That's what I feel.
Yeah. And you know what, taking that journey, when you pull up your chart and you look at it as a reflector and it says, wait that lunar cycle, it's challenging. It's like, oh, thank you, someone's finally given me, but it's also like, I've got to wait and slow down. Did you find that there was that you really wanted to relax, but at the same time, the conditioning from your past is like, I can't wait. How was that process for you in navigating lunar cycles?
You mean the past?
Yeah. Yeah. When you first discovered this and you were trying to experiment and waiting your lunar cycle, how did that feel? What the challenges did you face there with that?
Well, I say that I'm never the same. And something what I always need to remember, because when you have some kind of energy which seems to be stable, and you kind of like try to hold it inside yourself, but it's never there for good, and always changes. And that's what I remind myself, that some things gonna change, and tomorrow will be different to today. And yeah, and I love my lunar cycle, but also what I opened, that global transits also impact us. We are part of a program, we are program agents here, and we have no choice but to live through this as well. And how my very good reflector friend said, that reflectors are the kids of the time. We are kids of the time right now, and the transits, we have no choice, we are going through them. First, when I started looking at my transits, that was only lunar transits, and I thought, like, that's it, that's everything what gonna explain what's happening to me. And at that point, I had one very long period of bottom of the wave, and I couldn't understand where it's coming from. Why do you have this really, really, really depressive mode inside myself? And then I realized that was a long period when the 36 gate was on. It's still coming and going, but it was several years ago. And I have 35th gate, and I realized that's actually my crisis. That was the crisis which I opened up. And from that time, I also started looking at the transits globally, because everything impacts us. And yeah, and we have no choice, and we all have in waves and response and recognition from other people. You can easily lose yourself in everything what's happening with us, and forget that we are reflectors, and the main thing for us is to be surprised.
Yeah. And I've been tracking transits, my own personal transits, for nearly 3 years, because my first line needed to know. And the more I tracked, the more I thought I knew. But the more I kept tracking, I realized the less I know, because it's never the same. And it's never the same. Even though, yes, we do track around, there's all these other planetary bodies that are going through and they're changing. So it's never the same. So I had to really meet myself and go, I can understand this process and understand me a lot more, but it's never going to be the same, and let go of it. I had to let go of it. And that was hard. I had to grieve a bit of that, to go, you're never going to, not never, never, but you're not going to ever feel the same. And it's okay, because it's supposed to be like that. It was hard. Again, I was grieving it, going, I'm not ever going to know. Just, there was a part of me that just really wanted to get to the bottom of it, to find the answer, the key to life. Here you go, I found it. And it's just like, no, it's just let go of the expectations. Yeah, it was
I really liked your saying, I will take it. I found the key to life. And then you need to learn how to open doors with this key. Actually, you brought the topic I really am excited about. And this topic is about eventfulness. I don't know how to say correctly. So what's happening to you according to the transits? First of all, as you said, you'll never plan. You can't plan. You'll never know. You just have to let it happen through you, because it's, for example, okay, I'm going to have a generator channel tomorrow. I'm planning to do my project. And then next day it happens. And then you just don't have energy for it. But you caught yourself washing the windows. What is that? I mean, like, you will never predict what your body will respond to if you have generators channel and stuff. And it happens to all channels around. You cannot predict, because the channel can bring a lot of topics if it's spleen system on. At that point, for example, my root connected to spleen. At that day, maybe you will look after your health, because it's about health and well-being. Or there will be people coming to you at exactly that time to ask for some kind of advice and direction, playing the role of a projector. Or you will need this spleen to avoid some kind of dangerous situation, because when the spleen is on, it means you will need it. So the life brings you the situations to play these channels through your life. And it's fascinating how people are attracted at a particular point when the transits are on. It's very cool when people make decisions kind of for me in events, like for example, my husband plans, all right, at that day, we're going to go and do this. And I was just, all right. It's nothing major for me, and environment creates life for me, and all the small decisions and stuff, and it's happening. And then I open my chart, my lunar cycle, and I see, actually what is happening is precisely correct for this time. And this is so cool. And what I also noticed, that people are attracted particular way when the transit is on. First of all, I have a lot of people around me with the same channels I have through my lunar cycle, and they are attracted at particular that time, or I see them on social media, or they message me at that time, and we kind of like resonate with each other with similar channels, and they kind of like have a chance to reflect through me what they are doing, because I kind of feel the same what they're feeling. And and we communicate, and they go and live their life again. Or I attract people which need my advice, for example, at particular this time. For example, there was one moment when my friend, she came to me. She was like, I'm nearby. Can I just pop in? I was like, all right. And there was a channel of Prix 1858. And she came to me and said, like, I'm doing my clothes line, but I think I want to change things because it doesn't work. What would you do? And I already have the answer, because I thought, like, I don't like this particular thing in your clothes, and I would change that. And she's like, oh, that's right. Yeah, it's just like recognition, but you cannot get there straight away. You need like several years to, first of all, align yourself to your life power, let's just say, which is spread through lunar cycle. And also, people need time to recognize that in you, or when generators channel is on, there is always something to do. Life brings you something to do. And it's fascinating how people also are different around you when the channels, different channels are on. For example, when I have a generators channel, people start asking things what to do. Would you like tea? Would you like? And I was like, what is going on? Instead of like, it's just shift. Instead of just like asking for advice, they start treat me like I'm a generator or this kind of things. And when it's manifesting, it's also something happening. But it's very easy to lose yourself in that. So you always need to keep in mind that you have your lunar cycle for major events. And it never comes, like what is right for you never comes earlier than a month. It's always somewhere far ahead.
I love that. I absolutely love that, because if you were to ask me 4 years ago, I no. And it's, you know, and I realize, and I say that, but it's exactly what you said. It takes time to get to know who you are. It takes time to sort of like navigate it. And we're still learning it. We're still feeling it, because the program's still changing. All of those other planetary objects are still moving in different ways. But I love what you said then. I love that. When you think it's a generator day and you're like, I'm going to do all this stuff. And then it's like you're disappointed because you don't have the energy, but you're finding yourself scrubbing the windows or doing something. And you're like, oh, this lunar cycle stuff, it's not true. It doesn't work. And you're like, but hang on a second. You are still honoring the energy of that. You're just doing it in a completely different way. I've done that in the past as well. That has happened. So I really love how you explained that. Thank you. Because it's there. Just got to watch for the signs.
Yeah.
Watch for how it flows. Just be observant. You don't need to do anything about it. Don't plan. Just be very curious. I find that my mind is very curious. It's like, look at that. I don't need to do anything with it anymore. I'm actively curious about it. Fascinating.
Yeah, like every time you try to plan or plans don't work for me, it's just the head always plays with you, and it always makes this like expectations as well as like what things will bring to you. You have to be very careful with that. And life is mostly like, let's just say, about experience, and you just have to monitor. You're like sitting here and monitor through your eyes what is going on, and just to be surprised with that. Otherwise, if you try to control over the body, if you try to follow strategies, which is very difficult for me because I'm right-minded and right-bodied, like from both sides. And once your mind convince you to do something according to the strategy you built inside yourself, it's very difficult, very difficult. And the body gives this sign of resistance straight away. And it always comes from the manifesting things, because we are not always manifestors, even though when we are manifestors, we need to manifest major things through lunar cycle. It just happens. But yeah, it just very difficult to stop manifesting, especially in the beginning of your experiment. Yeah. But it's not bad. Like, we still do that, but it should be smoothly according to our mechanics. Yeah, because it's a part of our mechanics, especially if you have manifested channel. Like I have only one, 35, 36.
Yeah, mine's a 45.
The same.
I feel that. I feel that. That experience of, deconditioning. I'd love your thoughts on this, because I sometimes believe it's an unconscious thing that we do. We want to be consciously aware of our deconditioning, and people often talk about, deconditioning, but I believe, again, it's another one of these things that just takes time as we start to be actively curious, but it's not something we can actually set our intention to decondition. How do you feel about that?
Well, I guess there is no, if you make an intention, just to live happily. You don't need to make an intention to get to the point when you feel like, oh, I'm correct now. Like, it's no point. You will always have this non-self topics through your life. It's just gonna be less and less and less. But I would recommend for those who start to learn these 9 annoying questions about every single open center. These non-self strategies, it's always around. And you will always have to learn how to work with that. All your life, you will have this. It's because it's not in our body. Like, generators have their mechanism to feel, okay, my energy is over. For us, holding this wisdom, we need to mentally ask yourself, all right, maybe it's enough. Or about stress, or about when you are distracted with your open head center. You just always, that's what you can have intention about, to automate these questions in your head, because you will need that through all your life.
Yeah.
And I think it's also illusion that you will need 7 years for deconditioning. No, it will, if you're in, you're fully in till the end.
Absolutely. I had a beautiful guest on a couple of years ago who shared with me that she kept in her pocket the not self themes of all the centers. So when she was experiencing something, she would just kind of pull it out. And I thought that's actually,
That's a
that's
great idea. Yeah.
great idea, to just constantly be reminded of these things as you learn. And it stuck with me of how great an idea that was for people, just to have that little note that says, oh, I'm thinking things that don't matter. Am I trying to prove my worth? Do you know? And what you were saying then about transit, sometimes in hindsight, then you can reflect on the day and go, oh, that's what was happening. This transit was happening and I was really feeling that. And it's okay. Just let it go through me. Just allow it to just, nothing, everything's fleeting, isn't it? As a reflector, as a human, it's all kind of coming and going.
Absolutely. You just, sometimes it does, this feeling that everything ends. It helps also to go through very difficult times, because it's never forever, and will definitely change to something better. And will be times so different. Yeah. Writing generally is a good idea for understanding at what point you are right now. And, having your own lunar diary. It's a very good idea. Yeah. And a reminder as well. Yeah. I actually will take that idea. I will tell Reflexes, just write a little note, take it with you everywhere.
And it's as we, and not to sort of shame on the modern society, but with more and more apps around, we're not really getting to get in touch with the creation of the pen, to be able to write, to slow down. Everything, even our human design apps now is fast and instantaneous. And I don't think that's conducive to us, honoring. So I kind of still like a notepad and pen, and to take my time, because it feels really wholesome to draw my graph, to, my body graph, to write my gates and channels when they happen. I find it's really nourishing for me to really connect with the chart, and the reflectors that are in my space. I kind of encourage them to do that too, because it's such a fast world now. It's getting faster.
I agree with you. Just writing or drawing your own body graph, you remember it through your hand, and once you're drawing or writing, you kind of like have a chance to reflect on that as well inside. And yeah, once again, yeah, I think it's a very good idea.
And it's fun, it gets you out of your head a little bit too, doesn't it? It's always nice to create. And
Yeah.
you're creating, like that's I hope I pronounced your jewelry stuff.
Meneswa. Yeah.
Meneswa. Okay.
Yeah.
What does that mean, may I ask?
Yeah, it's all about human design as well. Yeah, as you know, there are 16 faces, God faces. We all belong to. I think your one is Mart.
Yeah.
And mine is Minerva.
Whenever, yeah.
And I was trying to use that name, and I couldn't find a way because there are so many Minervas everywhere. But I found this old style of calling this goddess, and it was Meneswa. And I was like, I'm going to use that because nobody is using it. And yeah, this God faith, it's responsible for crafts, it's responsible for education, for teachers, and for doctors, all about well being, and also a bit of about war. And I think it's a lot about me because I don't know, first time in my life when I brought a needle, just a saw, took a needle in my hand when I was 4 or 5, something like that. And ever since, I never stopped creating things with my hand. And I thought, like, why would I just not use that? A lot of people would like that. And so right now I'm using it as a way of side hustle, but also to realize some kind of like crazy ideas about how things can be. And I take things to the markets mostly. So website is more for it to be there, but also I like to meet people in real life. This is how you brought this fast thing about the world, but also it's all online. And right now, the most precious moments are with people offline. And that's why I like to go to markets and meet clients and talk to them and just feel the vibe of excitement of selling and negotiating and all these kind of things. Yeah, offline.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. That's just so beautiful. And I love that it's a part of you that honors that aspect of yourself, to just be, this is who you are. It's a part of your creativity. It's a part of your essence that gets to be able to be woven into things. I think we're forgetting that, and it just feels so nourishing, doesn't it, to just create for no reason other than it just feels beautiful to create.
Yeah, it's just like type of meditation as well. It's also something in my head right now. I know we are reflectors and we are very dependent on the place, and the place defines us. However, we all have our own uniqueness inside. And for me, I have first gate. I generally have a lot of individual activations in my chart. 24th gate, it's very important for me. It's the way I rationalize and think about things and what I'm interested about. It also brings a challenge to life, to how you say honor, and just to do it, just to be yourself, because as you know, individual is not for everyone. And it's hard just to like sometimes to bring it to the world because not everyone is accepting it. And there is a way for me as a sign, when the majority doesn't get what I find beautiful, what I think, and etc. If I don't feel comfortable and recognized in a place, it's a big sign for me that this is not my place. Not only because I reflect something what I don't like. This is also a big impact, but also I need to be seen there. That's very important for every reflector with open ego and with open G center to be seen.
Yeah, I love that. You your studies, you're still studying, aren't you? You're during your analyst training. You're nearly finished. You're nearly
I
finished.
nearly finished. Yes, there's only one left cycles.
Yeah.
I have an incredible teacher, and I can talk about her for ages. I studied in America. I studied in another school, and it's like I've changed several places to find mine. And now I'm stuck, and I'm absolutely grateful. See, she's incredible. She gives a lot of details, and the most important, she gives the understanding of the logic of the system. She gives a lot of life examples, how it could work in real life. So I'm very happy that I'm her student. Her name is Tatiana Korobenko. She lives in Estonia, and I think she's nearly 70. But she's incredible. She's like, I call her a human design titan. She's one of the ones, who smashes it. I love her. And this is the long story for me to have education in international human design school as well, because I started as a professional, started because people were interested, and they just kept coming and they're offering money, or just give me the information. And I started randomly, and I gave a lot of information, and my consultations were pretty long, and people were overwhelmed with the information as well, and when as a 3-5, I also had to go through this to realize that actually it needs a proper structure. You need to avoid misinterpretations and free interpretations and things, because it's a pretty logical and boring system which is pretty mechanical. And so I have decided to guarantee myself and to my clients to have a quality information coming from me. I will feel calm as well, and I will feel calm what I'm doing. And every time, I've never thought in my life that I love studying like that. You can't imagine. I was like, when I was a student in law, I loved law. It's interesting, but the idea of having working in a court with such a stressful life, I was absolutely disappointed, and never knew that I will come to an amazing system. I'm absolutely fanatic with that. But I believe that if you don't go to a person who is not fanatic, he's not a professional.
That's good. You gotta have the passion and the obsession.
Yes, this week is about passion, isn't it? So and then that was a very difficult decision. I had to wait. I had to wait a proper moment. And it started from a manifestor again. There was a manifestor who came to me with the channel 2145, who is responsible for the education. She came to me and said, Yulia, that's enough. Go and study properly. And I went. And it's been several years right now I'm studying. And in July, I guess, or in August, somewhere that time, I will be fully certified. And I'm looking forward to that, to finish that long journey as well. And I'm absolutely grateful, because it brought me to a completely different level of understanding human design. And at the same point, I will say that I don't know a lot of things as well. More I learn, more I don't know things.
Yeah. I really, and I just want to give you due respect here, because it is a long it's a long process. It's essentially a university degree, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a college degree. It's really an undertaking, and the requirements that they ask of you and testings. I've just started down the path finally after all these years myself. And I love what you were saying. I never thought that I'd like learning this way, but I do. It's like it's filling up the little holes that are in my foundation, and my first line body is loving it because
You would love it. Yeah.
it's oh my Lord, this is great because I feel like I'm getting a proper education. So I understand that. But yeah, it is a massive undertaking. So congratulations for honoring yourself and doing all of that. And the evolution of that going forward.
Yeah. That's interesting as well. I'm a human design guide. Once I've done which is very cool. I had 17 participants it was online, Living Your Design course, and 14 out of them were reflectors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was in Russian field. And I really, really dream to do it offline, somewhere in Australia. Because for me, as I said, I really like real people, real meetings, communication by auras. That's what I want to feel. That's what I want to go through, to have somewhere in Bali or somewhere for a couple of days. I don't know where, just to start with. But yeah, my dream is to have this like full dive into human design and non-self for a couple of days offline. Yeah. So
I would love that. And it's a part of my dream as well. Like I've been sitting in this for a couple of years now because, Nazag always had her Greek retreat. And a couple of years ago I wanted to go, but it was so far to go to, for us here in Australia to go to Greece, and
yeah.
and quite expensive. And then she stopped doing it. And I reached out to her a couple of times and I said, Nazag, oh, I really want to do this as well. How did you do it? Just to learn. And it was basically met with, when it's the right time, you'll do it. But yeah, that's I cannot wait if there is something one of us will do, and I know something's coming. I think that we will band together to have this reflector retreat. Someone's going to do it. Maybe we're all going to do it, and it's going to be magnificent. But
Oh my God,
gosh,
I have goosebumps.
Here we go. We're putting it out there, aren't we? We're just going,
You're already moving the world. You have this amazing conference. I really dream to come one day as well. Probably not this year because I studied like crazy, like a bookworm. But I really want to do this one here as well. And I think you're doing an incredible thing, connecting people in human design field in Australia. This is the first thing. People need that because Australia doesn't have as many followers as, for example, in Australia or in America or even in Russia. I think you're doing a cool thing, and please keep doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I will. And now that the more we're sort of like out there and connecting with people, we're finding more of us, and I love that. Like we're connecting with the Australian community and just going, oh my gosh, there's all these people doing amazing, amazing things, and so much of that is source knowledge, which is really, really beneficial to have that solid foundation. So
Yeah.
it's an exciting time to be alive.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah. I guess reflectors always forget when they come to this knowledge. They just, all right, I'm a reflector. I reflect everyone around, but they forget that they're for groups, and they can. I know it will sound like as a manifester, but they can impact or see things in a group and transform the group as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You know what? That's one of the things, Yulia, that I love about my incarnation cross, because I'm the cross of distraction. And I've had to really sit with this for numerous years to go, am I just distracted? But it's also about the ability to distract others, to course correct people, to go, you're focusing on the wrong thing. How about we look at this? And I love that because I do that with my eyes closed. It's, it's these beautiful things that we can really impact others with, to just go, oh, have a think about this instead of that. You don't need to worry about that. Have a little mind candy over here about this. So,
well, I guess what comes to my head, the main idea for you is to stimulate people, through what you're doing, and you're doing it, and stimulate the belief in brighter future. And this is very important, and it's very needed again right now, nowadays, with a lot of crazy things happening around.
You are such a gift to the world. I'm so glad that we got to have this chat. I could sit here for hours just having a chat with you. And you know what?
I guess one day we will do it in real life.
We are so going to do it. We're putting it out there. But you know what? We were just even off air. What we just were sharing there. Your sun and your earth and your nodes, and my sun and earth and my nodes are not the same. They're flipsies.
Yeah.
So your nodes are my sun and my earth, and my nodes are your sun and earth, and it's a fascinating little combination there.
I guess we need to say we see each other.
Yeah. We do. I really feel that. I really feel that. Beautiful. I know we've been going for a while, so I would like to honor your time and also wrap us up. Would you like to share with this beautiful little community of ours where people can find you if they want to work with you, if they want to honor your beautiful jewelry and the markets that you go to? But would you like to share, Yulia? Please?
Yes. Well, you can always find me on Instagram. I guess I can leave my links and stuff for later as well. I have 2 pages. One is Russian page, one is English. And for me, it's actually a new journey to join English speaking society and social media. And it's also challenging for me because I'm not a native speaker. However, I'm very excited as well because it expands and I can meet different people, various people from not only Australia, but also overseas. So you can find me on Instagram. And I really wanted to share about that thing, what we've created with Slava. He is an amazing manifester who just made my dream came true because I was literally dreaming about the service which can automatically create a reflector cycle, and you don't need to go. What I did before, I actually asked the guy to calculate it for me, and I was waiting for like a month or 2 months when he will prepare it for me for the next year or half of year, depending how much I'm ordering. It was very inconvenient. And right now you can do it just for a couple of dollars, and it will be there for you. And you have automatic system where it instantly tells you, okay, the moon shifted and right now you will feel the change as well. So I think it's an incredible tool for everyone, especially in the beginning when you don't know your chart, because right now it's not like I always need to check every time what channel is on, because I know it, because I learn about it. But for beginners, it's good to have this list of, and timing as well, list of things which will happen to them. In this chart, as you can open and see, you also see the division by quarters. And it's also interesting because each quarter brings a topic of forming an idea, then making it happen, then relationships, and then transformation. And it's very cool tool. I want to share it. You can find it on HD Navigator hdnavigator.ru. hdnavigator.ru. You can find that and check yourself there.
Yeah. And I've got one of these. You sent it to me and it's just beautiful. It's visually beautiful. So yeah, it's like, this is so, when I opened it, I'm like, this is so pretty.
Well, Slava is also a designer, I, graphic designer, I think. So he's doing a great job in that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's something which is always like the magic is in the air. I always feel that, and when I meet interesting people as you, and like moves this world, and like Slava and everyone, I just feel this magic of life and this flow, which is natural and which is how it should be. And when you feel the sense in everything, when people do, you are not disappointed. You feel the point in everything they do. That's a cool thing.
It is. I
It's
love
a
the
fun,
magic.
yeah, it's a fun life, and I believe everyone deserves it. Every reflector deserves it.
I do too. It's just like, you know, embrace the awe and magic of the world, because, you know, surprise and delight me. It's so much more. It's a magical experience, I think, when you have it. And it's once you feel it, it's just like you want to chase more of it, you know, and you can identify and go, this is what it feels like to have spaciousness and magic in my being. And yeah, go on. But anyway, I'm going to let you go because I know you've got mumming to do, your mum life.
Yeah, he's already
Roman's
here.
there. I can see him. It's his little red shirt peeking out from the side there. And I'm like, hey, buddy. Thank you so much. It's been such an honor to just chat with you. I'm so glad that we got here in the end. And yeah, I
feel absolutely grateful and surprised and amazed. And I'm in love with you right now as well. I feel like we know each other for so long. You know this feeling.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you for the invitation.
You're welcome. And I look forward to talking to you again